Now, before we delve into this particular video, there has been this news from MSNBC, CNN, everyone that his popularity is dropping. There's massive people who voted for him who wouldn't do that again if they're asked to vote today. But what is the real truth? What is the truth? The truth is that, as a matter of fact, his popularity may have dropped depending on the question you ask. But I can hardly see the tsunami of those who voted for him saying they regret their vote, because every single day in the campaign trail he was saying exactly what he will do, and it doesn't show any different from what he already did. So then, who is fooling who? So let us now watch Van Jones with this little focus group. Yeah, it's little focus group, but as it seems, he randomly picked them. But let's assume he knew them and made the choice. I don't think he was someone who will choose those who will go against him in a public view like this. So let's watch.
You do well.
And here we are in South Carolina with 3 Trump voters. You weren't always a Republican.
No. Actually, I come from a family that was like super Democratic. My first time voting, I voted Democrat. I voted for Joe Biden.
What about Trump appealed to you?
Am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, you can.
I mean, part of it is he's an asshole. I like authenticity.
You voted for
Part
Obama.
of it is he's an asshole. Yeah. The point is, most people who vote this guy don't vote him because he's the Pope Francis or Pope Pius. No. They vote him because he sees through the BS of the establishment. He sees through the spin machine of the media, and he sees through the covered suffering of the people who pay the tax that are being used everywhere for nothing, for gender equality in among chimpanzees. And you're asking me, what is the relevance of that to the sufferings of the people who are sleeping on the street? How does knowing whether a chimpanzee will be transgender benefit anyone, including the chimpanzee? And how does sending money to Iran to make gender studies benefit anyone? Nobody knows. So that is the problem. He says he likes him because he voted him because he believes he's an asshole. That means he doesn't give a damn. He just does what he wants to do anyway. So listen.
You voted for Obama then you voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. But 2020, you voted for Donald Trump. What made the change?
I began listening to someone, her name is Candace Owens, and I read her book, and it just opened my eyes to maybe he's not this person that I have been led to believe that he was.
So you voted against Trump in 2016.
Yes.
But then in 2020, you voted for him?
Absolutely.
Why?
I saw how things were going during his first term, and I was pleasantly surprised, and I was pleased with what was happening. I saw the economy getting better. I saw country relations in certain countries getting better.
What are some things that he's doing that you do like?
For me, I like the border. I just don't like the idea of someone coming here illegally and getting benefits that can serve my community. So that's the reason why I support him on that border policy.
When you think about the border, you think about people coming here who are getting more help than people who live here and who were born here.
Yeah. And I got that perspective not from news channels. I got it from social media. TikTok is like a holy grail. We even see it with the things that we learn about the United States government. Outside of the United States, people are showing Americans, hey, look at what's going on. Do y'all know that your government is doing this? Have you seen this? Have you looked at it from this perspective?
You know, people, when they think about a Trump voter, they usually think about like a white dude with like a red hat on and a pickup truck, and y'all are not that at all. So Donald Trump's team went in, they took down Harriet Tubman's picture for a quick minute. They're trying to like knock out the black museums. What does that have to do with the price of eggs, and how does that impact you?
In some ways, it's a slap in the face. In other ways, I don't care. I can't.
In some ways, a slap in the face. A slap in the face if you want to dance to the orthodoxy, if you want to dance to the victim mentality that you were given. From the other perspective, he doesn't care because those things don't really matter. What matters is what is the vision of the country for the future. What benefit will the museum give the future of the country? Absolutely nothing. It's just about posturing, and I don't think it does anybody any good. And pointing those specific stuff as if they are racially motivated is what they do best. Unfortunately for them, the people who voted this guy went through the processes to the point they got unwoke, and then they're where they are now. So this flimsy excuse as a reason why you shouldn't have voted him, they don't act.
I care more about how I'm going to take care of my children.
I don't think the average American cares about that. I know I am sick and tired of seeing Black people sit there and complain about something, but not taking action and steps to actually try to change things in an appropriate manner.
Under the Trump and Biden administration, they came to certain agreements with police departments to be less brutal toward the Black community. Trump has now ended all that. How does that help the Black community?
I have a lot of issues with police reform and just with how police officers are treated as a whole. My husband is currently going through the process to become a police officer. The amount of hatred that cops get, even the best ones, I think has become a huge problem because it has been, especially around election times, when it definitely comes out of like, oh no, the cops are bad, the cops hate you because you're Black, they're immediately deemed as evil.
This man is talking about running for a third term. Now,
And that's a lie there. And that was debunked just yesterday an interview as Trump had within 60 minutes, CBC 60 minutes. He never said he's running. And actually, Van Jones knows this, that it was Steve Bannon who propped this up. And Steve Bannon said it clearly, and I think in his podcast with Newsom, that it was him that started, no, I think podcast with BMR, that it was him that started the idea. And Trump said categorically, I am not focused on any other thing but best 4 years ever. And then I believe along the line, the mantle will be handed to somebody who will be good enough to take it to the future. J.D. Vance maybe, or Marco. So two of them are on it. Not all this. And he knows it, everyone knows it, but they kept on the lie. It helps. That is where it is. Because they claim that some of them are having buyer's remorse. And there it is. There are three people. Let's assume they represent only three families or three demographics. Elderly women, very young, Gen Z guy, and millennial. And they're saying it in their own words. Nobody could force them to say anything. And they identify with the interviewer is also a fellow Black because everything has become Black and white racialized.
now, what do you think about that?
The third term, for me, absolutely not. I think it's at the end of these 4 years, it's time to move on.
This is a prime example of him trolling people because people have said, they're like, oh, if he gets in the office, he's going to be a dictator. He's going to try to run for a third term. So he's like, okay, y'all think I'm going to do that? I'm going to mess with y'all and say this to take y'all out.
I thought you loved this man because he's so authentic and he's such a
But you
truth
need
teller.
to know the difference between somebody trolling somebody, and this is a prime example of him being a troll.
If you had to do it all over again, would you vote for Donald Trump again, yes or no?
Yes, I would. Now, in the future, I am not a diehard Democrat or diehard Republican. If there were a Democratic candidate who was more aligned for me, then I would vote Democrat.
If you go back in time, would you vote for Donald Trump, yes or no?
Yes.
I think I might know the answer on this thing.
She said yes. It's immediately yes. No, I'm sorry.
If you had to do it all over again, would you vote for Donald Trump, yes or no?
1,000% absolutely yes.
And Van Jones joins me now. It's interesting, most of the information that they are getting, or misinformation they may be getting, is coming from online.
You see, he thinks that they're getting misinformation because it's not coming from them. So they are the people who give the real information. They are not the misinformer. On the contrary, they are the misinformers. And everyone knows it. I didn't know that until a certain point my eyes was opened to, and I knew how far they could go to spin one news to their credit. Even this person talking now, they watch Biden walk like a moving corpse. Suddenly, all of them, by Tapa, they're coming out with books on how Biden was corpus mentis during his period. But all of them knew it. It wasn't misinformation. They didn't misinform people. But now, people saying their mind, saying their information they got from media, not just one area, corroborated information, and now misinformed.
Fine.
Really, 100%. The thing that surprised me the most was how much social media is dictating, especially the younger guy. You know, he said, "Look, I'm learning all this stuff about America that I didn't know." I'm like, "Where are you learning from?" TikTok, China, guys. You're a Republican and you're taking the Chinese narrative about your own country to heart. But that was a big part of their whole information ecosystem.
Yeah,
Social media.
fascinating.
You know, he wants to play it down. It's not China. It's not China because Chinese people, what they show are experience stuff, is science stuff, car driving, repairs. It is every other person in the West, including Europe, showing in video what you people in the news are covering from the people. It's not China. So don't play as if they are stupid. They don't know a propagandized information and the real information from their peers. That they got it from TikTok doesn't mean they got it from China.
Social media.
Fascinating. Does it seem to you that do they follow news closely? I mean,
No, that was the other thing too. Is like, you know, one of the women said, "Look, I do not watch any of the media." She says, "You know, I have some influencers I follow. Candace Owens being a big deal, and Newsmax, and that is their information system." And listen, these are hardworking people. They're good people. They care about the country, but they are in a completely different information environment than people who I talk to every day.
Van Jones, thanks very much.
So that's it. That's it for now. The information masters have been destroyed by people who get the things themselves. They believe that they have the four S's when it comes to news, but